Hello everyone, welcome to my channel AI Whisper. So today we are diving into the most exciting field in artificial intelligence, that is generative AI. If you are curious about how machine can create art, write stories or even generate realistic human face, you are in the right place. Right now we are trying to create a new playlist on generative AI. This is our first video on introduction of generative AI. So let's dive into it, and one by one we'll explain everything you should know and once when you are trying to go about in the field of generative AI or artificial intelligence. Okay. So let's just understand what are topics which are there in generative AI, and later on we will go through how generative AI can able to generate images and so on, and texts and so many things, right? So let's deep dive into it. Okay. Yeah. So the first, let's understand how AI can generate a story. For example, I have given a prompt that is a simple human language which I have written here, like write a story about a boy who fell into a well and become a king of the overworld. Okay, so basically this is a prompt which I have given, and I got the result by any text generation model. Okay, so that is the response. So it is able to generate text. Now, if I talk about the art creation or art generation, this is one of the example in which the prompt is something like that: a man sitting on an Indian castle wall drinking tea. So basically you can see this is a castle, and a man, a kind of Indian dress up he has been wearing off, and he is drinking tea or something like that in its hand. So yeah, it is able to generate that kind of thing. The other thing in which we are trying to generate faces, so I have written prompt something like that: an Indian man having long hair. So you can see we can able to generate images based on our prompt, and you can see it is a kind of Indian tradition in which the some royalties used to wear these kind of things, right? So yeah, that's how generative AI can change our world and something like that. So first, now let's understand what is generative AI. So once we are trying to define what generative AI is, we to put simply, it is a type of artificial intelligence that can create new content, unlike traditional AI, which is designed to analyze data and make decisions. Generative AI can produce text, images, music, and more. For example, let's talk about the previous scenarios in which we used to do classification, regression kind of task, in which we know how, what are the sorry. So in that we know what are the input and what are the output. So put it simply, there are supervised learning, there are unsupervised learning, right? So basically these things are there in the previous generation. Now generative AI came into the picture. It is inside the deep learning. So first understand this Venn diagram from the outer surface to inner surface. Okay. So first is artificial intelligence. So when we call a machine, it is artificially intelligent when it is able to understand human language or human emotion, human context, whatever it is. Okay. So once a machine is able to act like a human, we call it artificial intelligent system. Okay. So this is a artificial intelligence which is made up of machine learning. So machine learning is nothing but there are some predefined rules which are generated by machines, by some neurons or human like brains, and then it is able to understand by based off patterns. Okay, so it is able to detect the patterns, and it is a fixed. For example, there is a machine learning model called SVM, support vector machine, linear regression, logistic regression, decision forest, and so many machine learning algorithms are there. But we are not able to go into the core of those models. So then once we talk about how machine learning's model has been created, so you can say it has been created somewhat by using deep learning. So in the deep learning, we can decide how neurons look like for each kind of task. Since we are not going through each and every topic, how you can become a machine learning engineer or deep learning engineer, we are just focusing on the generative AI part for now in this playlist. So yeah, let's talk about this generative AI and we'll move on. So generative AI generates new text which might not be there over the internet. It can create new text, new audio, new image or video, or code based on content it has been trained on. So there are so many things which are there. For example, generates, which means that it might not be there over the internet, so it creates its own, like human thinks and give the response based on its thought, right? And the other thing is pre-trained. So basically each and every model has been pre-trained on specific kind of task. For example, ChatGPT has been trained on different dataset, and Bard, that is Gemini, which has been trained on different kind of dataset, might be, right? So if I ask same question to ChatGPT as well as Bard, the response will definitely be different, since the dataset it has been pre-trained on and the model parameters are different, so that the response is different. But both of those models are generally text-based model, in which we give input as a text and we are expecting output in a textual format. But if I talk about the mid-journey model, this is the diffusion model. So when I talk about the diffusion model is a model which generates the image. It is not able to generate the text, but it will generate image. So if I go to the previous, these models are kind of diffusion models. When I give an text input, it is giving the response in a image format, right? So that is a kind of things which is there in the generative AI. Okay. Now we know how generative AI looks like. What is generative AI? Now let's talk about how does it work. Okay. So to put it simply, uh, generative AI model learns from the vast amount of data. They use this data to understand patterns and then generate new content based on what they have learned. Two popular models in this spaces are, uh, GANs for generating images, or diffusion model for generating images, and transformers kind of networks, like to generate text, right? So there are different kind of approach which anyone can go, but yeah, to put it simply, this is how it works. So first is input. The AI is given to the vast amount of text or image kind of data, whatever data we are trying to create model on. Then it will do analysis of the data and then detect the patterns and relationship between words or images or vectors, maybe you can say. Then learning happens, in which AI use self attention, or we can give some attention to some words, and then once attention has been given, then their learning step has been done, then the creation will start. So based on the learned patterns, the AI will generate new text. So basically when I talk about any AI, it do not give you answer directly. It has been fine tuned instructional based. That is why it stops at certain word. Okay. But to put it simply, generative AI models are models which are able to predict next word. So basically once I ask any question, it is basically generating the next word and it will go on. Okay. So there are some context length in which it will stop, and there are some instructional tuned models where it stops. So there are so many things, but yeah, basically AI model can predict the next word, and that's it. That is the base idea of the AI model. That is, if I talk about the ChatGPT or Bard or Gemini, whatever text generation model. Okay. Now the fifth step is refining. Now it is checking the output is make sense, or we should refine it, or train it again, and so many things are there in the refining process. And the last one is new content. So once all of those 5 steps has been completed, then the new content will be generated based on the input of the user. So that's how AI generative model works. Okay. So this is it, how generative AI model works. Now let's talk about applications of generative AI. So generative AI is a wide range of application. For instance, it can create realistic images and videos, write contents, and creative text, uh, compose music, design patterns, and even assist in drug industry. So as we all know, and we have seen some of the example earlier, that it can able to generate some artistic endeavors, right? It is also able to generate, convert your own language to different languages. For example, it can instantly give response in different kind of things. For example, if I want to talk to a person who only knows Russian, but I just know English and Hindi, right? So in this case, I will simply say in English and it will directly convert into Russian and give that back to the person who only knows Russian. Okay. The next one is medical insights. It is really helping in the drug industry to uh, coming up with new drugs, and new drug discoveries are happening, right? So you have also withstand with like corona anti coronavirus and its antivirus, right? So basically all of those things, uh, so yeah, language translation it helps, right? So it is also helping in medical insights, getting the medical insights in drug industry. It is also helping the in financial forecasting. It is helping in a virtual support, like Siri is there and Google is there in your mobile phone. It is helping software engineers to write code very fast, as well as it is helping in UX design to help people to get a better user experience and so on. Like GitHub Copilot is there for software engineers, right? For pair programming, there is a personalized marketing. It will help in personalized marketing for different kind of user by using uh, personalize things for different users. For example, I might like playing games but you do not, right? So it will show some of the things which is related to those kind of things. And the next one is data analysis. So right now GPT Omni has came and it is really good data analytics. It has and it can do provide you charts of the data. So yeah, it is really helping in data analysis field and so on. So it is never stopping field, and there are so many possibilities in generative AI will come into the picture. So now let's talk about how it is transforming the industry. Generative AI is transforming various industry in entertainment. It helps creating content faster, and with great creativity in healthcare it used to developing new drugs and personalizing treatment plans. In business it is revolutionizing marketing, product design, and customer engagement, right? So there are so many things which are happening in generative AI, and industries are really transforming based on the generative AI and based on their use case, right? So these are some of the fields which it is really affecting, right? For example, in like travel industry. So in travel industry it can become your personalized guide. You don't have to hire people to know about that particular place, and in more detail it can also suggest you where you should stay and where you should uh, go right now, depending on the weather condition, and so many things are there. It is really impossible to tell you each and everything in detail what can be happen. In telecommunication field we can create an virtual assistant for that particular uh, product maybe, right? So and it can also solve your queries. In education industry, user it can help the student to teach any particular technologies or any particular things in which you desire. For example, if you have any queries, you simply go to ChatGPT and ask, and it will simply giving you a response based on your query, right? So these things are really evolving based on by the generative AI. Now there are some challenges also which comes in by generative AI, right? For example, as you have seen in recent news, that there are some person who has created deepfakes, and based on their appearance he has mimicked his face to another celebrity and doing some you know uh, misbehaving and doing some unethical things to it. So these things are happening, and these are some challenges and ethical consideration. For example, that data privacies are concerned, since every company wants to personalize for their users, so it is stealing your data, right? You may never know where your data is going, so these things are happening. um, so we should give a transparency in this case. So as a powerful as generative AI, it comes with own set of challenges and ethical concerns, issues like data privacy and the potential of misuse, and its need for transparency are critical. It is important for developers and users alike to navigate this responsibility, right? So if you are a developer and you are fetching any user's data unethically, right? And another time you are also user for some of the clients, right? So in that case your data will be unethically, taken. So these things you have to be considered and when do the things. So there are so many court cases are happening if you took another person's data. So data is the new money in this case. So there are so many things which we will be covering in later on videos. Now let's talk about the what are the future of the generative AI. It is stopping or it will go on or it will grow. So let's talk about that. So the future of generative AI is incredibly promising. With advancement in technologies, we can expect more sophisticated and creative applications. It is a field that constantly evolving and we are just scratching the surface right now. For example, earlier AI foundational models are there which has a global knowledge, and then there are AI foundational model for any enterprises knowledge. So it has some specific knowledge. You can see in the graph it has so many knowledge, like so many dots, but it has a specific dots, right? So it has a specific knowledge. So this is the external knowledge which whole knowledge it has. There are some internal knowledge which specific knowledge it has, and some other AI models which has some frameworks or some AI models. By defining those frameworks, it is able to be near AGI. So it is able to think like a human and act like a human. So these things are happening in real life scenario, like type of AI establishment, generative research, generative insights, and so many things which are happening. We have to be concerned about the safety, ethics, and compliances. And in these scenarios, the experience of the user or employee are increasing, and we can give more better service to the person and create our own new products and so on. So many things are there, like pursuing new markets. So when AI, generative AI came into the picture, some new markets came, right? Some of the new startups came into the picture to help the user. Some it can help in enriching, enchanting, क्या भी लिखा हुआ भाई. It can help for product and service. It can help in designing user experience. It can help for by imagining new products and how it will process. It will help in creating unique knowledge, communicating, collaborating, making better decision and faster. So all of the fields, there are limit is endless, so it has endless limit. Okay, so we will go all of these things by how to design a prompt, how to utilize, how to use Python in AI ML field for generative AI, how to create our own LLM, how to fine tune LLM. So we will go one thing at a time, and this series will go on until we will we all know everything which is related to generative AI to start in an industry, right? So now let's wrap up our introduction on generative AI. We hope you find this video informative and exciting. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the bell icon so you will never miss an update. And we will definitely make videos for generative AI, and later on we will go with machine learning, NLP, and so many things we have planned. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe, and if you have any question, any queries, please, chat is open for you. You can comment, and yeah, see you in the next one.